Today we're going to be talking about kick plates and going over why we put them on, where we put them on, and all the correct ways of doing this so we can make sure that we're doing it the right way. To start off with, we have two main types of kick plates. As you can see, we have one that is a little over 16 and 3/4 inches long, and one that's about 6 1/4 inches long. You can see that they are tall. One of the main things about these is they are not interchangeable. There are definitely places where this is going to work best, and there are places where this is going to work best. The easiest way I can usually help you guys understand this is you want to use the smallest kick plate that will work to cover the areas that need to be protected. So that kind of takes care of the overview of what it is that we are doing. But one of the things that we want to make sure that we go over as well is why do we do what we're going to do. So we want to talk about that. We're going to look at the code section in the Florida Building Code in Section 3 that goes over why it is that we protect these things. So the plumbing pipes have to be protected in a way to make certain that whenever people are running in screws and nails and other things like that, that they cannot be penetrated unless somebody is actually almost drilling a hole through the kick plate and trying to penetrate them. So the protection is there really to help us. It's to make certain that they're not damaging our vent pipes, our drain pipes, and our most importantly, of course, is our water pipes. We've seen plenty of times over the years where someone's run a screw into one of our water pipes, and as a result, it may not leak right there at the beginning, but over time, it rusts out and eventually it starts to leak. That's a big problem. If the kick plate's there, we are covered. We've done everything that we can do to stop them from causing any damage. But if the kick plate's not there at all, or you can't see where it was screwed in place, then we don't have any way of for certain being able to show that we did what we were supposed to do in protecting that. So now that we've gotten a chance to actually look at that code section, let's go ahead and talk about how it is that we install these. So we're going to start with the small one because really it works the same for both. The only difference is usually on our small one, as you guys can see here, we just have two lower holes, not two upper holes. The larger kick plates both have ones down on the bottom and ones on the top, making them easier to fasten in odd applications. Now, what I do want you to understand is these are thick, they are hard to drill out, but if you do need to, you can make a hole in these to be able to attach them in other ways. These need to be put in with screws. We do not put them in with nails, we always put them in with screws. We have drywall nails here, drywall screws, here, that we're able to use for that. And that is what we want to always use to put these in with, or some other type of screw. So that way they can be removed if need be. We do not want to put them in with nails. Now, we're going to take a chance to look at some pictures and go over some different areas where we're going to have that application. You know, we obviously want to take the time and make sure that we are protecting, like we talked about, our PVC pipes, our water line pipes, so that could be CPVC, PEX, or copper. And we also want to make sure we think in our head, we have to protect anything else that we're running inside those walls that are our piping. So it could even be a chase that we are going to run. We still want to protect it. It doesn't do us any good if we're going to look to pull a water line or some other type of line through a sleeve that we have put in if there's a screw right in the middle of it or a nail right in the middle of it. So we want to protect that just as well. So as we write in the code book, 1.5 inches of space is what we have to have of protection. So that tells you in a normal 3.5 inch wall, if you're not dead center of that wall with a 1/2 inch pipe, you're going to have to protect it. So make sure you think about that. Sometimes you're better to err over to one side instead of trying to put it dead center. If you're running 3/4 inch or 1 inch pipe, you're better to be further over to one side. So that way we can just put a kick plate on one side and know that we're protected by depth on the other. That's not always something we can do, but if it's possible, that's what we want to strive for. PVC pipes, on the other hand, pretty much as a general rule, if you're going to be inside a 3.5 inch, so a regular frame wall, you're going to have to protect both sides of it. And that doesn't matter if it's vertically coming up or if it's horizontally running through the wall. You're going to have to protect it. Now, it has been brought up before is, so we understand when we put this on the bottom plate, how this will sit on the ground and it will come up from there. So the 1.5-inch bottom plate, we're actually going to have protection that extends up above that. But what about those situations where we're running horizontally through there? Or if we're coming down from the ceiling? Well, if we're protecting down from the ceiling, we just take it and turn it right upside down. So that way we're going to put this piece here so it lines up with where it actually touches into the ceiling cavity, and then it's going to come down from there. So our top plate's going to be in this vicinity, and then we're going to be hanging below that. So again, protecting our piping above or below where the actual plate is, so that way where they're putting drywall, it's protected. We don't have to worry about where it goes up into the attic because they're not going to hang drywall up there in that area. Now what about when it runs horizontally through the walls? We've talked about vertically, but we want to look at it horizontally now. Well, we're going to be going horizontally through here, so that means we want to attach this in a way that we protect. And since it's so wide, we don't have any option. It's going to hang on either side a little bit. Ideally, what you'd like to do is try to position it so that with your screws in place, you're having a little bit of the back edge of this plate extending over the edge of the actual 2x4. That way you get protection on each side, at least a little bit extra than just protecting the actual stud itself. So I hope you guys have learned a good bit about why it is that we kick plate, how it is that we kick plate, and also basically some of the little ins and outs of how we do it on the actual job site. So take this out and use it as you go out throughout your day-to-day.